look back on my life a lot, and I always ask myself, like, what would I be doing if I didn't leave architecture? And I'd probably be fat, I'd probably have some kids, which is fine, but I probably wouldn't be as happy, you know?
What are most of the orders?
It's kind of a gamut. Patches and stickers, which, like, growing up like a skater kid, like, I don't think I ever paid for stickers, and then now I'm like charging people for stickers and patches. I grew up in Wilmington, North Carolina. It's like a small little beach town. Grew up surfing, hanging out at the beach. I got a bit older and, you know, we grew up at the beach, you had beach cruisers, and we kind of figured out that if you took a skateboard and you stuck it into beach cruiser handlebars, you could basically just like kind of cruise around with your skateboard. So bikes for me at an early age were more about like independence and getting away from your parents and like being able to do stuff on your own. And it wasn't until college where I started to pick up cycling more as like a way to burn off stress. Like, I was an architect. I loved architecture, but we weren't really building public space stuff. We were building like sick ass apartments for rich people, and it was like not really fulfilling. And I was always doing the website kind of as like a side thing to just keep me creatively engaged. In 2008, the economy like took a big nosedive and architects everywhere lost their jobs. When I started interviewing for various jobs and I was getting offers of like $40,000 and I was a senior level architect, I was just like, this isn't for me. Like, I just can't do this anymore. And I remember like ranting on Twitter, because that's what I did back then. Like, I can't find any work, no one's paying. And then someone was like, hey, have you ever thought about selling an ad on your website? And I was like, oh, you can do that? Bikes. Honestly, like, some of my old posts are really like difficult to look at just because like the photos are so bad. When I started my cycling website, it was called Probably Is Not Probably. And it was kind of just like a mashup of like art, culture, music, bikes, but it was all about me. For various reasons, that gets old pretty quick. I was trying to figure out a name for this new website where it wasn't gonna be about me as much as it was gonna be about other like raconteurs and like photographers. You know, when you start a company, you want to create a new word. I started just going through my content that I'd produced over the past 5-6 years at that point, and I kept coming back to this story that I did with Seth and Johnny Coast, where I was like, yeah, this Atavistic Urge stuff.
Each thing will evolve in its own way and take hold, but now you see people riding BMX bikes with guys riding mountain bikes with guys riding track bikes with skateboarders, and they're all out together. It's all the same, that like Atavistic Urge, you know, just to play.
But you can't call it the Atavist because that sounds really pretentious. So what about the Radavist? So you get rad and atavism, rad and atavist. It's just like taking inspiration from things you see. We see a lot of Blainesville horned lizards on our rides here. A little Dynaplug with a jackal on it. This is like a BLM sign, like Bureau of Land Management. And then the Shred Lightly, it kind of talks about how we, the Radavists, like show trail use, which is like you're sharing this like world with like other animals and other humans, and so like flying down a single track trying to like, you know, beat a Strava KOM is just kind of, you know, it's kind of lame, especially when there's like trail runners and hikers. And we cover events that a lot of companies or websites wouldn't want to touch because they don't want to like get political. So for me, the thing that I guess sets the Radavist apart is like we're not like afraid to take a risk, and we're not afraid to like take a stand. The concept of the Radavist is a website that focuses on cycling in the outdoors. Like, that's as simple as it gets. But what the Radavist embodies is the inherent nature of human beings to play, and in this regard, with bicycles. For me, cycling is just, it's this like soul scrubber, you know? It's like, I just want to go out sometimes and just feel alive, feel the blood pumping, kind of like be vulnerable in not only in the elements and in nature, like also just like spiritually vulnerable, and not in like a God kind of way, but just like feeling alive. Wherever I go, I've always got a camera on me, because like you're either meeting someone really interesting, you see some cool animal, and like it's my job to document it. So photography for me is like a tool to get the job done, and it's also like a way to kind of express like my love of whatever it is I'm doing. And in the winter, the weather's awesome. It's like some of the best time of year to like photograph is in the winter. It starts getting dark at like 4, so you're trying to like pack your day in. So a lot of times, if I'm gonna go out and ride a mountain bike, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go ride at like, you know, noon, and then suddenly it's like 2:30, 3. And when you're out there, it's like real dark, and there's like real things that you're concerned about. Mountain biking, you want to be able to see where you're going, because it's like rocks, and all of our trails are like bench cut in the side of a mountain. So, you know, you fall, you could go off the side, and then, you know, you're in for like a bummer time. But yeah, having a good trail light setup and a good like commuter light setup is like really important. You know, people ask me all the time, like, what's my 5-year plan? And I'm like, I don't like to still be doing this stuff. I don't know. There's just, it's a really vibrant, exciting world that we live in right now. And for me, I just want to be always contributing to that. And I want to be spreading the Stoke. My name is John Watson. I'm the owner hustler at the Radavist.com. And I use light motion.